Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I've not done a video for a few days because it's not really been anything that caught my attention, but like London buses perhaps, a few have come along at once, but I'm going to take the first one, which is, I don't know why I'm building up to it, it's about David Moyes staying if we get relegated. You can tell by the title of the video, and as you can probably guess, I'm not very happy about it, but let's break this down. Now first of all, when his first spell was here, when he took over from Slav, he kept us up. I thought he deserved to stay. I did think he deserved a new contract and to remain at West Ham, but I didn't want him to. I wasn't very happy with what we saw under him. I was going to the stadium not really looking forward to the match as much as I should be, and I wasn't very optimistic for the forthcoming season should he have remained in charge. I was glad to see him leave the first time, but he's come back again. I wasn't very happy when he came back again. Against Brighton, when we drew 3-3 at home, I wanted him gone after that game. I thought we were heading in one direction only. Championship, and I put a large portion of the blame on his doorstep. But since then, the football's been all right. You know, the Etihad in Anfield, I thought we played well. The tactics were good, the intentions were good, but we still got beat. But against Southampton, I thought we played really good football, won really well. It's one of my better games I've had at the London Stadium since we moved there. Then we got beat by Arsenal, which is we should have got something from that game, performance-wise, and how poor Arsenal are in general at the minute. But so I'm on the fence a little bit with regards to Moyes. I'm going to judge him over the next 9 games, and at the end of that 9 games, I'll see whether I want him to remain or not. But at the minute, I'm just going to get a few splinters if you don't mind. But I am more leaning towards expecting disappointment than expecting success, if that makes any sense at all. But jury's out. I shall wait and see. But with this article that came out, now it's based on the fact that West Ham were linked to another manager, so it's come out saying, no, Moyes is our manager for the remainder of the season and he will be here next season regardless of what division we're in. Now if we stay up, I think he will deserve to stay. Whether or not I want him to doesn't really matter. We'll deal with that in another video. I think he'll deserve it. But if we go down, I don't get why we would keep him. Why would you keep David Moyes if we go down? There is some extreme circumstances. For example, we could play really well between now and the end of the season, but the virus pops back up, the season gets put on hold, and we end up getting relegated without playing football. But that's unlikely, and that's a bit different. But this is if the season gets played to finish and we get relegated. Let's see why we'd keep him, to be honest with you. There's a few reasons. Do I think we'll get relegated? I'm 50-50 on that as well. But the more I watch the Bundesliga, the more I think we might get relegated, which is a bit strange because that's got nothing to do with us. But there's just stuff I'm noticing from that league, watching the football, that I think, that does not bode well for West Ham. But I'll deal with that. Neither of the Premier League coming back in a video with Gonzo, because it's about, I suppose, changes we could expect from the Premier League. But it's coming back soon, isn't it? The Premier League today, it's been ticked off. Training is back to normal, or as normal as it can be. Contact training is back. The 19th of June, I think it'll be the 26th, but the 19th of June is the date they're pushing for. So this is why I think, this feeds into why I think Moyes has to go if we get relegated. And that is, it's a bit of a leveller. When he came in and he took over from Pellegrini, I know he has Pellegrini's squad largely, but he spent quite a bit of money in January. We spent quite a bit of money in January, bringing in Bowen and Solček. Now I know Solček's only on loan, but if you were to make him permanent, as we're expecting, it comes to around about 40 million. It's a lot of cash to spend. So it's not like he's not been backed. Like the first time when all he got was Hugo and Patrice Evra. I can understand why he wasn't backed for that. But this time, he's been given 2 players who improve our first 11 that start our next game whenever that is. So, yes, it's not his squad, but it's not Nigel Pearson's squad at Watford either, is it? So, but the level that I'm talking about here, this break we've had. So when you come in and you take over, you have to hit the ground running, don't you? You can get employed on the Monday or the Tuesday, and come the Saturday, you've got your first game of charge, and the fans and your employers are expecting something, a reaction. Points, quick. This is why you were brought in, especially when you're down the bottom. You need to hit the ground running. But without a pre-season and stuff, you've always got that excuse. If we got relegated in May, it would be slightly harder to say that Moyes has to go because he wouldn't have had the pre-season, he wouldn't have had the time with the squad. But he's had these things now. Maybe not the time because they've not been together, but he's now got, between now and literally now and when the season comes back, this is a mini pre-season. Because I know it's a continuation of the 1920 Premier League season. It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like last season's already finished and we've now got a 9-game season coming up, which is going to dictate who goes to play in European football and who goes down, essentially. That's what we're playing for now. We're playing a little mini-league. Like up in Scotland, when everyone plays each other 3 times and the league gets cut in half, so the top 6 then play each other once and the bottom 6 play each other once, and it feels like we're almost in that sort of phase, that the league's almost not being cut in half, but we're now into a little mini league on its own, because this isn't what we were playing like in February or January. The circumstances are now different, the rules are perhaps going to be different, and what we're in now, the 9-game league, is going to be different to next season again. That's going to be more Premier League, but this is different. So between now and then, Moyes has really got to make sure he's got a mini pre-season, in my opinion, and he has to stamp everything down in his authority. I know there's stuff going on which dictates sort of unfairness, if you like, because there's reports now that we're missing 4 players at training at the minute: Antonio, Ajeti, Creswell, Manzini. 2 of them will come as no surprise because they've been very vocal about not really wanting to go back. But that's if it's true. But also, swings and roundabouts, because now if there's any team that looks like they're going to get relegated, it's Watford. Their striker don't want to play, who's also their captain. They've had positive tests at the club as well. There's players don't want to go back because of the positives. So if there's any club that looks like they're heading down because of the virus, it's not West Ham at the minute. It's Watford, isn't it? Which wouldn't really... I've said it before, but I really hope they don't go down. It would leave a sour taste in my mouth if we stayed up and Watford went down. While it would be good that we've stayed up, it's not our fault, obviously, but I don't know. It's just not fair, is it? It's not a fair level playing field anymore. But Moyes has to get this right. This is Moyes' pre-season. He's got 9 games. He simply has to match the results of Norwich City, and we'll finish about them. Match the results of Villa. I know they have a game in hand, but we are due to play Aston Villa, so as long as we don't lose that fixture, the game in hand doesn't really matter too much. Then all he has to do is better the results of either Bournemouth, Watford or Brighton. It's, in my opinion, it's almost like a 4-team race to survival with only 1 going down. I think Villa's going to struggle. I do think Villa's going to struggle. Norwich are gone, as far as I'm concerned. So there's now 4 teams, 1 spot left. And if Moyes fails to get us out of that group, if Moyes fails in this 9-game league, I don't really want to see him at West Ham next season. It'll be another failure on his CV, and he's only had failures since leaving Everton. Man United's failure. Sunderland, big failure. Real Sociedad, failure. West Ham the first time. Okay, I'll give you that one. Well, actually, that's even worse. The fact is that's his biggest success since leaving Everton, and he was deemed not good enough to stay on. So why would you keep him? And if you were to get relegated, let's say we still had Pellegrini and we got relegated and he got dismissed, and someone said, who do you want in charge? There's not many of you out there that would say David Moyes, please. I'm very confident he can get us promoted. I'm not that confident that Moyes would get us promoted, because if even from a business standpoint, this is taking your football fan away from it. Even from a football standpoint, when you go to the Championship and you are the best team, you've almost got to play like you are the best team. For the crowd purposes, essentially, you've got a 60,000 seater stadium. You want to get 60,000 fans in there, you've got to be playing good football. And I can count on one hand the amount of games I've enjoyed under David Moyes in both tenures combined, and it's not good enough. So I'm very much on the fence with Moyes. I'm very much on the fence with relegation. But what I'm not on the fence with is if he should remain at West Ham if we go down. He's got to go, as far as I'm concerned. When he took over, I think if we went down, a large part would go to Pellegrini. The blame this is would go to Pellegrini. A large part would go to Sullivan, and not so much of it would go to Moyes. Some of it, but we weren't in the bottom 3 when David Moyes took over. We were just outside it. We were lingering on just outside relegation. But that's why we changed the manager, so the new man, whoever it may be, and it happened to be Moyes, would have a very reasonable chance of getting us away from the bottom 3. We haven't left it too late where we're in the bottom 3, and it's almost like a poison chalice job to take over. It's none of that. This was, I don't want to say an easy gig, but it's as easy as it's going to get when it comes to taking over a side, fighting relegation, because we have got talented players here. We do. I'm convinced that we do. I'm convinced we've got a better starting 11 than that of Watford and Brighton, Villa, Norwich. I've left Bournemouth out of that because I think Bournemouth have got a really good starting 11, but they're not really performing very well, are they? So he's got good players there. And it's not enough to get relegated. And if we go down now, what I was saying was the blame will mainly be with Pellegrini and Sullivan. But now, because of this break, actually, I think it almost squares it off a bit. And Moyes would be just as much to blame as Pellegrini, in my opinion. I understand you might disagree with that, but I just think while this is a horrible situation we're in the world right now with this virus, it's easy to sort of lose, not necessarily focus, but perspective of stuff. And if we go down, it's bad. It's not good enough. And Moyes will have to take the blame for that. And I would not want to see him here next season if we get relegated. I'm not even sure I want to see him next season if we stay up. I'll judge him over the next 9 games for that as a personal opinion. But what I do know is regardless of how we play, if we go down, I don't want to see him at West Ham. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments. I will be having a little read later. I'm off to watch a little bit of more Bundesliga. I've got 2 games tonight. Leipzig are playing Hertha Berlin, and then I don't know which one I'm watching later on. Probably not the Schalke game because they have been absolutely stinking bad recently. So I'll probably tune into another one. I'll do another video soon, so maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. I've got a couple of topics. I'll catch you in a bit.